All right. Good morning for those in Asia, and good evening for those on the United States, Western, Pacific, Eastern, and in Canada. And my channel is called The King Lee Way. And for those that are checking out the stream for the first time, my name is King. And currently, I am based out of Daejeon, South Korea. So, before I get into any of the comments or topics, I wanted to just go over a few things here. Of course, the weather here is extremely hot and humid. Lately I've been okay without the air condition, but now it is killing me. It is freaking just unbearable to sleep at night. So the other news I have is I will be moving into a new place where I will have air conditioner and I'll be in a comfortable setting where I can do my live streams from my new place. So I'm really excited about that news coming up. So yes. And lately here in Daejeon, as I check my phone for when I check the text message thinking, okay, do we have another case? Lately, we haven't had any cases because the last case we had was 161 in this city. And that text message came about like 4 or 5 days ago, which is good news right now. So I'm really excited about that news. So I'm like, yeah, things are just getting okay for now. So I'm really happy about that news right now. So, and same thing, I've been able to go sit at a coffee shop and I've been able to go eat at a restaurant without any issues at all. So I am really happy to be doing that here. So I'm able to do still the normal things. So that's one of the things I am happy to continue doing. Yes. So yeah, and FYI, and I'll even make this announcement at the end of the stream. Wednesday, I am 50-50 if I am going to do a live stream Wednesday morning at 11 a.m. Seoul time or South Korean time, because I might be moving that day, so I'm not sure yet. And then Friday, I will have a guest on the live stream. So, and then I'm trying to line up some more guests, so they'll be coming around. So yeah. All right, so let's see here. So China Dave, who is in Upland, California, he has finally arrived, and I know some of you are coming from Geo's live stream, so I delayed the start so you guys can go to the CR, the comfort room, or get your snack. So yes, and Kinga, yeah, it's hot and humid in NYC as well. Yeah, I bet. So, and I know New York at one point had like the biggest spike in the beginning. So it was like, nope, New York is not the place to go. But now Florida, now even my state, California, has surpassed New York. So yeah, the numbers have spiked. So yes. And China Dave, yep, I felt safe everywhere I went when I was there in 14 in Guashuan. Never had any problems. Yeah. So we're going to talk about, yeah, the safety here in using South Korea and mostly around Asia. And then I want to even talk about, like, we could still talk about some of the things where even in COVID-19 things, how they came around and did everything around. So yeah. Okay. And go more hike, and it is Bama. I'm not watching close tonight, getting ready to bed, just saying hello. So yeah, I know it's getting late over there. So yep, thank you, Bama, for at least dropping by. And China Dave says 98 here, so it's a very dry heat. Yeah. So imagine California. So yeah. Okay, so quickly, compared to Korea, this is what we kind of deal with. Of course, for us in the United States, and I'm going to start with just this for the United States. And the reason I decided to come up with safety is make some comparisons. We can't really make a fair comparison because this is what we deal with in America. The school shootings, Columbine, Sandy Hook, and Parkland, Stoneman Douglas High School. So those are some of the things we deal with on a constant basis, shootings. But, of course, coming here to Korea, they're like, oh, there's shootings all the time. Do all of you own guns? No, I don't own a gun at all. I never owned a gun. The only time I touch a gun if I go to a shooting gallery. And actually, the last time I shot a gun was in the Philippines when I went to the shooting gallery. That was really fun, but it's very expensive. And I actually did that with my girlfriend in Cebu. So there is at least a little shooting gallery near SM City Mall, but I don't know if that still exists over there. So, because I actually went to check. I didn't see it there the second time I went around because I went like 6, 7, almost a year ago when I met my girlfriend in Cebu. So, so that's what we deal with is, we deal with the shootings here, and it's every state crazy with the shootings, so not as much. So, yeah. Okay, so now I want to talk about one thing. Here's the thing with Korea. It is a safe country, okay? It's very safe. But sometimes in the notions of minds of South Koreans, sometimes they feel too safe. They get the mentality it is too safe, really safe, And as most of us that live here and been here, it's one of the safest countries in the world. But I have some even other caveats where they think the Koreans have too much dependence on that safety. So that's one of the things I wanted to talk about too. But I want to still talk about the benefits and then those notions too. So first, okay, Scott, China, where are you? I think, he's in California right now. And so we is one of the safest countries in the world. Okay, Carl, you're up in that Bay Area, cold and windy. Yeah. I remember when it used to be AT&T, now it's Oracle for the Giants. Yeah, I was freezing in August when I went to a baseball game there. So I was really cold. Yep, and Thomas, welcome to the stream. So you'll be coming here within the next week. So be fun to hang out with you, and then I'll try to get you introduced to the community here. So you will have some friends to hang out with for sure here. All right. So let's see. One thing. I walked late at night by myself. I've walked around Korea at 2 a.m. alone, and not one person bothered me. And same thing, even in the Philippines, not one person bothered me, and then there's even a young girl. She is on her mobile phone talking to someone, not having a care in the world, 2 a.m, and she was able to walk home with no issues at all. So so it was just like wowzers. So and if USA didn't have so many certain people, it would be a lot safer. We have some crazy folks in the US. We see them on the subways. Yep, and it's in Upland, California. And exactly. And Thomas, soon you're in Korea. So he'll be here, Scott. So maybe, you can make a special trip to Daejeon, or maybe if I have the time with Thomas, we can come down to Busan or something. So we'll figure something out. Flying out this Thursday. Yep, August 6th. So you arrive probably August 7th because it's like 16 hours ahead. So you do your quarantine till the 21st or 22nd, I take it. So yeah. So yep. So there we go. Good luck, Thomas. Yep, and yes, they played a game at Oracle today. No one in the stands, and they didn't televise it. Oh, that sucks. They didn't televise it. Oh, I have actually an MLB.com account, so that's how I would watch a lot of the games. Or plus they, televise games here, Carl. So in Korea, so nonstop baseball. Yep, two kinds of people in the world, civilizing animals. Yeah. Yep, and I hate it when all those young girls bother me. Yeah. Yep. 안녕하세요. Nippon says hello in Korean. And yes, I want to meet the two of you. Yeah, so you can make a quick trip up here to Daejeon. Okay, so one thing I want to start off with is this one. And Scott, you will probably know this, or anyone that's been in Korea. Here's the bad part I did not like. The Sewol Ferry disaster, April of 14. So, and I rode one of these boats back in January of 2014. So here's the part. And if you guys don't know how it looked, this is what happened to the boat. So there's the picture. Yeah, it capsized. And I was not surprised that boat capsized. And by the way, just like the captain from Italy, he abandoned ship. The Korean captain abandoned ship and was put on charges. And this is one of the downfalls for President Park Geun-hye, where the way she handled this situation was not good. So, yeah, that is the Sewol Ferry disaster. And here's the sad thing. It cost over 300 high school students to perish in that boat. So there's that notion of so much safety. They think everyone is safe. So, and this is something I talked with when I was teaching the ajumas, the older ladies, English in my intermediate class. We were talking about, and this comes from the ajuma's mouth. She goes, yes, Korea is safe, but sometimes there's too much dependence on that safety. There's extreme dependence on the safety issue here. So that is one of a thing. Yeah. And that's a submarine. It looks like it the way it capsized, but it was that ferry boat. And sometimes what happened, Aztec, is, like the tide and wind, and then plus the weight inside the cargo, pushed it over, capsized, because they just overstuffed things in the cargo. And the reason I can say that, because I've been down there in the cargo one time, and I was just like, holy moly, what happens if this boat capsizes? What happens if this happens? Because I rode one of these things that year before in January of 2014, and I sat there and think about all these things, because even when I fly a plane, I go, where's the exit? What do I do? I think of all these things. And I sat there and thought about that, like, okay, boat happen, this happens and that happens. What do I do? And of course, and I'm going to read Scott's comment here. They recovered the kids' bodies with broken knuckles as they're trying to break the windows to get out. Yeah. And it really pisses me off because, if I was on that ship, my ass is going up topside, ready, because I ain't going to trust anyone in the Korean government when they say, stay down there. I said, no. Where I come from, no. I'm going to get topside. I'm going to try to get off that damn boat, Because, man, that's the problem of the notion, they have. And that's one of those things. Yeah. Safe ferries, safe cracks in building doors. Yeah. So, yeah. And some of the safety protocols when I was riding a boat, I'm like they would, all the Koreans would stand while the boat's moving, and then they would open the cargo door before docking. And I'm sitting here like, what? What the heck is this? And my friend goes, this is the way it is. I'm like, this is unsafe because in America, we have protocols. Nobody's going to be getting up till that boat is docked. And then the safety door is not going to open till there's a bridge to walk through that. So, yeah. So, well said from the Ajumma. And of course, what needs to happen? Some people have to die for them to wake up. So now they put those protocols in check now, which I'm glad that they finally did it. But it didn't have to be a sad event like Dave says. We didn't have to go there. We didn't have to lose 300 high school kids from Incheon, Seoul. Yeah. It was sad. And how can they think they are safe with their neighbors to the north? Yeah. Oh, that's even another thing, Carl. Nobody cares about North Korea. Nobody cares. As you can see, I'm sitting here comfortable in South Korea. Nobody cares at all about North Korea. It's like it's been so pounded into them over the past 60 years. Nobody even cares about our neighbors to the north. Yep, and the captain told everyone to stay put as he bailed. Yeah, he paid for it. And I think what happened, Scott, you could correct me on this. I think he might have either put in jail or he might have committed suicide. I'm not sure about that. So, yeah, it's a sad situation there. Yeah. And I was teaching college and we talked about this in class. My students were stunned. Yeah. So that's a thing. It's so ridiculous, That could have been avoided. And of course, I was a little angry one time when I got out of that boat because the guy was like leading us out because my friend's car was parked in the city of Mokpo, which is on the southeast coast of Korea. So the ferry got there and then he guided us through the cargo. And I'm sitting like, why are we going through the cargo? This is stupid. And then he ended up losing us. He didn't wait till all of us came out. And yes, I shouldn't have did what I did. As soon as and I'm carrying one, roll-on luggage. So I rode out. As soon as I figured my way out with my friends, I'd let them have it. I cussed them out big time. I'm saying, you mother effing piece of something. How dare you leave us in there? You should be concerned about our safety because it was a hard squeeze. Now, if you're 6'4" or 200, you ain't gonna be able to go through the cargo because the trucks, the cars are so jam-packed in there. So a lot of this stuff did not surprise me at all. Like when that ferry capsized, I was like, wowzers, So, yeah. Okay, the captain got a life prison sentence. Okay, I think you have it. The captain could have saved all of those lives. Yeah, it didn't need to go that way, As a captain, you never abandon ship. You're the last one to leave, Like, for example, if any of you seen that movie Sully, yeah. I know I have a lot of respect for Sully, Every one of those passengers lived. Even if they crashed in the Hudson, he made sure everyone got out. So, yeah. I was afraid of buildings in Gwangju, tofu buildings with corrupt contractors. Yeah, that's even another issue. Same thing here in Korea. Some of these buildings, because they build them so quick, it makes me a little eerie at times. And how safe or dangerous are ferries in Philippines? Well, the only thing I rode, Bama, is I rode the ocean jet, but I never rode the ferries because reason I pick Ocean Jet, it goes fast. So yeah, but sometimes I even like wonder about it. But Ocean Jet, at least I counted they had enough life jackets and boats on Ocean Jet. But I don't know about the ferries. But I assume, because it's the Philippines, you could have a concern at times, or you don't want to hear with life jackets. You do not want to hear, "Sorry, sir, out of stock." You don't want to be hearing that when your life is at stake. So yeah. So all right. So when I was there, I saw then North Korea attack some islands in the north. I watched it. Yeah. So I know they flew, yeah, launched a few missiles into that one island near Korea. So yeah, of course not Dokdo, because you don't want to mess. That could either be Korean or Japanese territory. That's the fight. But yeah. So I remember that attack came, but nothing happened. So yeah. And then there was another movie during World Cup 2002 called Northern Limit Line, where North Korea and South Korea actually shot at each other with the ships during the 2002 World Cup. So about 30 to 40 Navy men died from the bullets, that the North Koreans fired at them. So, yeah. Okay, so you're not afraid of the North. Seems like I'd be apprehensive about living too close to the border. No, it hasn't been like an issue at all. Like, because when I first got here, a lot of Americans were like, "Are you okay, King? Are your neighbors of the North Korean?" No, there's really like no concern here at all. And if you think about North Korea, they're probably not as strong as you think they are, because their military, their soldiers are malnutritioned. They don't got enough food to eat. So you don't really know till you can actually hop over and see the real North Korea, which is really hard because they really guard that a lot. It's really secretive. So I'm hoping that I can make the one trip, but right now with the situation, I don't think it's going to happen. So, yeah. Yep. And Jackie, mega love, shout out. Yeah. Thank you, Jackie. Thank you. Okay, Scott, I Googled it. Captain was sentenced to 36 years. Parents were furious. He was resentenced to life. Yeah. But sometimes the question is that going to stick? Because two South Korean presidents, Chun Doo-won was sentenced to life, and he was pardoned after 7 years for the Gwangju incident. So, yeah. So hope that sticks, because sometimes a president could override it, get out of jail free. And that's happened. And it's made a lot of local citizens furious. Yeah, never felt uncomfortable on ferries, Philippines, or Thailand. Okay, yeah. So, yep. So that's the thing. Yeah, my experience is riding that, that ocean jet. Yeah, I'm an expert swimmer, so I don't care if the ferry goes down. Yeah. There you go. Stay home. Yeah, stay home. Okay, tofu seems like a bad construction material. Yeah. Yeah, could probably eat our way out of it. Yeah, if Chinese could save a buck, they use tofu, trust me. So, yeah. Go more hike. Some ferries were built in the 50s. So, yeah. In all the boat trips, I always had a life jacket. El Nido, yeah, Coron, Puerto Princesa, 100 Eyes, Brackeye. Yeah. So that's good. I like to compare that to some of the Korean ferries. 1850s or 1950s. Yep, little rocket boy. So there you go. Yep, Nippon, you have a life jacket. You mean you were wearing one? So those are the funny things. Oh yeah, news man sounded more worse than this. You get used to it and don't worry about it. Yeah. And there's Kinga. She was in my she's lived here in Daejeon, so you see her with the blue wrench. So yeah, we hung out here a lot. Yeah, I call her my half sister because I don't know, I saw the name. So yeah, China would never allow the North to attack the South. Yeah, but yeah, when I talk to some of the Chinese students, they love the North Korean leader. So they love the Grand Marshal. And yeah, that's referring to North Korea is what Kinga meant. Yeah, we just sit here and go, yeah. Are you pro opening the borders in Korea if you're talking to neighbors to the north? For the neighbors to the north, I would be open for it so families can reunite. But and then the funny thing is, like, I talk to, like, younger South Koreans, and they go, "Hey, should this country unify or not?" And they're like, "Well, I would say yes, but really no, because if I have long lost family, how can I support them? I live in a one room Goshi one." So that was like mostly the argument, how do I support all them refugees? But for unification of families, I am open for it. And of course, my dad is like really a proponent for him, because in my dad's house, he doesn't have just a South Korean flag. He has the unification flag in his house. So that's what he usually is shooting for. So, and apparently, I'm like not 100% pro, but I'm okay with opening because I like to see some of my family members in North Korea before they die or I die. So that would be my reasoning for it, for the neighbors to the north. Yep, go more. I look some older. Yeah. Luckily, the Philippine shark attacks are very rare, so if the ferry goes down, it might be a long swim. Yeah, so we might not see a lot the sharks there. All right, but now, besides the ferry, I wanted to show you something funny. Like, what would be the extent of dealing with problems in South Korea? I don't know if any of you remember this. If any of you know who Richard Marx and Daisy Fuentes, the cute MTV swimsuit model Daisy Fuentes, and she worked on MTV because they're married apparently. Yeah, Richard Marx, who had the one-hit single "Right Here Waiting for You" or "Right Here Waiting," had to help restrain a violent passenger in Korean Air. That SOB was so drunk. And I have a picture of it. Let me go to the brand picture and show you what happened. Yep, there's Richard Marx in the middle, and you see the Korean guy on your left. Yeah, he was drunk. And then you see the flight attendant tasing him and tying him down. So that was quite an experience. Richard Marx was going from Hanoi, Vietnam to South Korea to go do a concert in South Korea. So I was like, that was quite an experience for Richard Marx, his first trip to South Korea. So, yep. So that's good old Richard Marx right here waiting for you. Yep. He had to sit there like his song, right here waiting, tying somebody down. So that's the famous Richard Marx. So, yes. Yep, if North Korea gets rid of the Kim dynasty, it could happen. Yeah, anything's possible. I mean, look at East and West Germany is one Germany. And I know the 38 parallel South and North Korea border, North Korea has a huge sound system, roaring propaganda in full volume day and night, and South Korea answers with K-pop. Yep, that's what they do. So they constantly just blast music left and right. So that's what they do mostly. They just blast it. So, yep. So that was the funny one. You see. Yes, and Bama. Yes, I remember Richard Marx big in the 80s. And no, I'm not going to torture you and sing that song. I can sing it in karaoke, but it's not my go-to song. Yeah. Then yeah, then you say, we're all leaving, King. I don't want to hear that. So yeah. No, that was a few years ago, Bama. That was about 2 or 3 years ago. Yeah, it was just funny. I was just watching it on Facebook. Yeah, because everyone was filming it while Richard Marks was helping the steward, the flight attendant, hold him down because he helped tie it up. He was like exhausted. So, yep, good old Richard, way to go. So I think, yeah, when he did the concert, I think he got a standing ovation, is what I remember hearing. Yeah, he became more popular because of restraining a passenger than his concert, the songs he was singing. But he sure was right there waiting for 4 hours because that's how long the flight was, man, going from Vietnam to South Korea. So, yeah. So here's the thing. Now, North Korean defense get a lot of humanitarian help in South Korea, like free education, job training, and housing. Some poor South Koreans are not happy about that. Yep. And then on the flip side of that, Nitbomb, the North Koreans that try to get jobs, they sometimes get discriminated by the locals. They get seriously discriminated on the flip side. So, yeah, it's tough for them. So sometimes those North Koreans in South Korea, they keep it a secret. They don't tell their fellows that they're from the Bukhan area, North Korea. So they kind of keep that quiet, So they really keep that on the hush hush. So, yeah, they are not really big in telling about, oh, I'm from North Korea. So just keeping that on that. Yep, defectors have political value. Yeah, so they're just keeping things very quiet as possible. Yeah, thank you for the singing restraint. I have my Bluetooth in. Yeah, so nope, I don't like to sing in public. I'll just go to the karaoke room. Then I realized if I do a YouTube in the karaoke room, I get copyright, so I can't even make anything off the video. But I don't even care. I'm not going to make anything off of me singing. So, yeah. So here we go. God, unless you guarantee when I'm sinking with you, rescue me, I will wear my life jacket. Yeah, we're going to go with you, Scott. I'm getting off that damn ship with you. We're going to follow you up there. Or what is it in Titanic? We need to stay on this as long as possible before getting inside that water. So, yeah. Okay. By the way, my glass broke, so I have to go to a smaller glass for my coffee here. So, yeah. Okay. Now, here's the interesting part. Have there been any mass shootings in South Korea? So you guys are wondering, And I was actually wondering about that. Was there any mass shootings in South Korea? The percentages are extremely low, but actually there were 2 places that there was a shooting. So it happened in 2015 when I arrived in Sejong. Sejong is nearby here for me. So I can actually take the subway to the BRT bus and go to Sejong in less than 30 minutes. And Hwasong shootings were 2 separate shootings incidents that occurred both in South Korea on the 25th and 27th of February. It's interesting. It happened 2 days apart. So what happened? In the cities of Sejong and Hwasong, after each shooting, the gunmen committed suicide. So they committed suicide. So that's what happened. But they were, yeah, and the reason the shooting happened is a business dispute between the gunmen and the families. So that was the only thing that, caused the shooting, And I'm going to talk about the gun control. I only sing in the shower, yeah. Well, Thomas, maybe we'll go to coin karaoke. Yeah. Yes, North Koreans try not to expose themselves. Sometimes their accent gives them up. Yeah, it does. So they even try their best. Yeah. Get a giant mug for your coffee. Yeah. I'll probably get one when I move. So, yeah. Now the question is, can I buy a gun in Korea? Foreigners, I don't think we can, just like the Philippines. But for local Koreans, there's protocols here about the guns. And how do they get guns? You know, they can get, like, because most Korean men, they have to go to inscription with military, so they're skilled with the guns. But I'm going to tell you how it works because I was researching this the other day. So here's a question. Are guns illegal in South Korea? Well, this is the answer. People must first obtain a license from the police, and even with a license, can only purchase air rifles and hunting guns. You cannot purchase handguns. And when they are not in use, generally outside of hunting season, firearms must be kept at police stations. So the advertising of guns and ammunition is also banned. So you cannot, sell it. So it's really hard. I mean, I think there are gun owners, but where you have to take the guns, you have to store them at your local police station. And you can check them out when you go hunting. But now, because of the mass shooting, they want GPS on those guns, apparently, so they can track you at all times. So I think the guns are tracked. So you can't even take off the GPS, but I don't know how they would do that. That detail I don't know unless, I run into a gun expert here or if I, run into some cops here and I go, hey, how does this process work? So I know a couple cops here. I haven't had a chance to talk to them, but this would be an interesting question that I would love to ask them about the guns. Okay, Aztec. Yay, Aztec. Yeah. Yep, Thomas, I knew. And that kind of gun rules make sense. So, yeah. And, even in Japan, like, I think you can own a gun, but you have to go to licensing process and you have to go to a psychiatric evaluation. So if the doctor don't think you're fit to hold up, that you're not stable, you're not getting a gun in Japan. So I know that's how Japan kind of runs their thing. So, yeah. Yep, just wrap it in tin foil. Yeah, you could. But you'll probably get a call from the cop and go, we can't track your weapon. So they have to have something in place so that doesn't happen. How about knives? I have a handmade Harley knife I carry in my luggage. I used to cut steak. You can't get a dinner knife in the Philippines. Yeah, I don't think that's an issue. Because here's the funny thing, Thomas. Most of the gangsters and mafias, they use knives to kill. Like, if you see some of the movies, and like there's a movie called Friend. It's a Korean gangster movie. They murder people with knives. They just stab them to death. And in the movie, they talk about, make sure you get this kind of knife because if you get a small knife, you stab them, the knife will break because of the bone inside. So, it was just, crazy. Yep, carried around the force in a Faraday cage. Yeah. So, but yeah, but I know So assault rifles don't make sense. Yeah, it's interesting. We can't track your weapon. Yeah. And if I was like going to be a prick that day, what are you talking about, officer? So, I don't know. I hope they have something in place to say, we're going to find you. So, and there are some towns in Texas that have close to 0% crime, but almost everyone there carries a gun. Yeah. And of course, even in the state of Arizona, I don't know this. I really don't hear too much mass shootings in Arizona. I could still be wrong because I've been to Arizona. So I've seen people, carry firearms, visual firearms where I could see it. So I'm sitting there like, okay. So I haven't seen a lot happen in Arizona, but I could still be wrong. But of course, we know the main places like Columbine, Orlando, Las Vegas, all that craziness. So yeah, Aztec, you lost your gun. Come to the police station. Aztec. Conchar. Conchar is like cops. Conchar. Yeah. So that's like the police. Come back here. They should outlaw clothing. This way no one can hide a weapon. Yeah. So that's the funny thing. But yeah, it's interesting that, yeah, that's one of the process of the gun thing. And then of course, when we talk about the Philippines, I hear keeping foreigners can't own a gun. But of course, in the Philippines, I was like, when I'm going to the mall or you see a bank, you got all these armed guys with rifles and everything in the Philippines. So, yeah, I was like, wow, he's got the assault rifle and everything. You ain't gonna be trying to rob that peso truck. You'll make sure you don't rob that peso truck. Or would he fire back? So that's the interesting part. So I remember watching a YouTube video, like, if you have a bodyguard in the Philippines, is that guy gonna risk his life? So don't know. Or I'm not gonna even bother answering that. All right, now the cool part is like, I have to do something funny here. I have to do, okay, so for those in Korea and not in Korea, or you could think, which is safer to ride? A Korean bus or a Six Flags Magic Mountain roller coaster? Which one is safer? Do any of you know this answer? Yeah. So that's the funny one. Which is safer, a Korean bus or Six Flags Magic Mountain? Yeah. Everyone would see my weapon if we had no clothes on. Yeah. Woo, 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 yes. So, yeah, that's a good one. So, think about that question. Yeah, it takes only one guy with mental health issues and easy access to gun industry to devastate the lives of tens of families. Yep. Yeah. So, yeah. So there you go. Yep, talking about it, but it's a toss-up. Yeah. Yeah, so. Oh, that's the part. Sorry, Aztec, I don't have the Korean bus thing because I thought about this question 1 minute before this live stream. But reason I say Korean bus is those IGCs drive that SOB like it is like it's convertible. There's times I've gone head first down, domino effect on a Korean bus. So sometimes I run and get onto the bus. Yeah. So definitely I run to my seat or I start holding on to something right away on a Korean bus. So, yeah, so we all make the joke as foreigners in Korea that Six Flags Magic Mountain is much safer to ride a roller coaster. Yeah. I mean, there's times buses almost are close to hitting cars. I'm like, whoa, slow down. So, yeah, it's quite an adventure. Oh, Delta Crest. All right, you got your morning coffee. Cool. Hanging out in good old Cebu. GCQ, huh? Yeah. Okay, I was going to say Korea can't be too safe. I've driven around Koreatown in Los Angeles. Oh, Thomas, that's I don't call that Korea. Koreatown is no. actually, Thomas, I was more safer in East LA than Koreatown. So yeah. So I was much safer in East LA with the homies than Koreatown. I've gotten in less trouble in East LA, and I spend an equal amount of time on each side. So yeah. Of course, I was quiet at dark. I would just quietly go speak Spanish back to the abuela. Oh, ¿cómo está usted? Oh, estoy bien. Órale, tu nombre. Este es el nombre de ese rey. Es mi nombre es rey. What? ¿Dónde eres? Ah, soy de Estados Unidos. So yeah, I would just and he would believe I'm Mexican. I don't know. So yep, and Daniel T, it's super safe to be in Korea. You can walk drunk and still Roma as long as you don't harm others. Yeah. Oh yeah, just for FYI, you can drink in public in Korea. You can walk around, just don't be, as Daniel say, be crazy out there. So yeah. Oh damn, yes, Aztec. But that's the cool thing about Korea. You could just sit outside and drink, you know. Yeah. And the only thing is not safe is driving. Creeks mimics American driving. Shame. Actually, Daniel, I think it's worse than Americans. I don't know. I make this joke like when a Korean person gets in a car, something transforms in their brains when they drive. So it's like wowzers. So actually, they're worse. Yeah. At least they don't drive them off a bridge like China. Yeah. Of course, I heard about China is they have a tattletale thing. Like someone could tattletale on you, and then the police will fine you, which is crap. That happened to the blogger Winston for Serpenza. He got fined. He was like, "Well, how come I'm getting fined?" And then and he speaks, Mandarin, and he goes, "Yeah, I got fined for my driving." I was like, "Where did I violate the traffic laws?" But he couldn't sit there and fight it. Nothing can be scarier than a Thai driver tired trying to make Bangkok to border an hour early so he doesn't get his paycheck docked. Yeah, that too, especially in Bangkok. Oh my goodness. Sometimes I don't want to be on that main road where Asok and Nana is. So yeah, it's jam-packed almost 24 hours. Maybe it's from like 2 in the morning to 5 in the morning. It's clear. Yep, I'd be afraid of the buses. There's quite a few bridges there. Yeah. Well, it's like if you ride the limousine buses, like going from, the airport to another city, long distance, they have seat belts on them. So I recommend riding a seat belt. Cars and guns, nice weird comparison. I wonder why the U.S. didn't fight the World War II with cars and buses. Yeah. So, yeah. And riding in public transport such as bus and trains are super safe. Yeah. Except the regular bus, when the Ajishi goes crazy. But he's a good driver. I will give him that. I was like, wow. They're really good drivers. That's the only thing, except don't jerk the bus. Yep. General community quarantine. Yeah. I think that's going to go till August 14th or 15th, Delta Chris. So that would be there. Now, Knit Bomb. I love Koreatown in LA. Great Korea food. Yeah, I love Koreatown. I only usually hang out in the daytime. I don't hang out at night. Of course, you could go late night and see a lot of beautiful eye candy. And of course, now most of the girls half of them are Americans and the other half are native Koreans. That's an easy distinction when I go down there. But yeah, I'll be like the Ajishi now going down there. Oh, Ajishi, why are you here? Hey, man, I'm here because I'm a friend. Yep, Los Angeles, like Gasma Mafia being territory in areas that aren't safe. Yeah, gang mafia. Yeah, the K.A.E. Mafia. That was the thing. Yep. What reaction did you get when you speak Spanish with the homies? No, they kind of knew, so they didn't give me much of a reaction because they knew me. They knew I know just a little bit, But I got but it was just a normal thing with the older abuela, you know, the jefe. He would just like talking, and then our conversation was a few minutes. He passed me a cerveza and drank when I was, you know, I used to love drinking, but yeah, but that was it. So, but my homies pretty much knew I spoke just enough. So, yeah. Yeah, I bet they were floored. Yeah. Oh, it's a Coreano. Oh, Chinito there. Yeah. Chinito en Coreano. Esta habla español. Orale. So, yeah. Yep. Korea needs to start eating chilies and gochujang pens so they can concentrate on the driving. Yeah. And plus, now with the driving laws, you cannot have more than 0.01 alcohol in your system when you drive in Korea. So that's why it's called this term called daily unjun. You call someone up to drive you home for $10. So daily unjun. Yeah. Yeah, Mexican and Koreans in LA are not really friends. Yeah. But during the World Cup, yeah, we were homies. During the World Cup, they loved the Coreanos. Every Coreano, they were tossing them in the air in Mexico. So, yeah. Yeah, Winston is here. Yeah, he's in SoCare. His social score in China tanked. Yeah. Yeah, he can't even really go back there. Him and Lowai, you know, Sea Milk. Yeah, they both can't even. And, you know, and their Chinese wives can't probably go back there. They'll get in some, you know what, with the Chinese government. So, yeah. Yeah, Mexicans and Koreans can get along. They're just competing which of their foods are better in chili and spices. And actually, you know, it's crazy, you know, when I go to some of these Korean restaurants in Koreatown, LA, the ones cooking the food is Mexicans, and they actually do a pretty good job of cooking that Korean food. I was impressed. I was like, wow. And of course, you know, in LA, you have the ajumas probably training them, and then they can kind of put a fusion together, Mexican Korean fusion. And by the way, if any of you in LA, I recommend the gogi truck. Yeah, you got the kimchi quesadilla. I love the gogi truck and the bulgogi tacos. Yeah. So yeah, and I can mix Mexican chimichangas with Korean tongdechiga. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, they're fusing a lot more than ever, especially in LA. There's a lot of Mexican Korean fusion going on, you know. Yep, Mexican burritos with Korean corn bits. Yep. Yeah, I love that thing. So, Okay, I wonder how popular the robot cafe is. Only one in your city. Sounds like the robot could be expensive to set up. Yeah, it could be. You know, I see a good amount of people come there. That's the only one in Daejeon because everyone tells me, goes, I saw an article about this place. I just don't know where it is. So, yeah. So sometimes, yeah. So hopefully I help, you know, people find out where it's at. So now all of a sudden everybody wants to go there. So, yeah, I think I got already almost 100 views already for that one. So I think that could be a pretty good video. Yeah. But yeah, I liked it. But then one dude was like, technology, I don't like it. Because I put it on the local Daejeon Peeps. I was just like, okay, dude. All right, whatever. Okay, they called you Chinito, huh? I never heard that term. Yeah, so yeah, they think like all those Mexicanos always think everyone's Chinese. So, hey, Chinito, hey, venga, sí. Órale, Chinito, come on. I'm like, hey, homie, we all look alike, don't we, Holmes? So yeah. But yeah, I love it. Yeah, I've been caught Chinito. Yeah. Órale. Yeah. Well, you have that mix. Oh yeah, I love BCD Tofu House and Soon Tofu. Yum. Yeah, and BCD Tofu House is open 24/7. They started this in Seoul, but mostly the branches are mostly in Los Angeles, and now it's branching out more to the United States more than in Korea. So yes, I like to eat the mandu sungdubu, which is the dumpling soup, And you could even order the side with this. Yeah. So yeah. Yep. So Korean Mexican fusion food sounds great. Yeah, it tastes really good. So yeah. Nipbom, if you get down to LA, go check out the Gogi truck. Yeah, I wish they had one up there, but they're mostly Southern California. So yeah. Oh, Jomel, Bay Area guy. Lakers suck, go Warriors. Well, they did suck against the Raptors the other day, but it would be nice if the Warriors were involved in this thing, so we got more to talk about, Jomel. But next season, we'll see if the NBA goes. I was once called a accordion boricua because I look like a Latino speaking Hangul. Yeah, Orena boricua. So yeah. Now, Janito, Mongolian feature. So yeah, that's one of the things. Now, here's something that's kind of cool. I did an experiment with this, and most people are like, King, you're crazy for doing this. And Scott and Daniel can attest to this. Seriously, you could leave your things on the table and no one touches it. So, a lot of people don't believe me, but they're like, what? Yeah, I actually left my laptop. I left my other phone. I took my main phone, my wallet with me because that's just me. I left it there for 4 hours. Not one person took a thing. Not one person moved an item on that table. So, yeah, not one item was like moved at all. And of course, Korea, it's different because, you could leave your stuff, no one will steal it. Or like if I'm at a foreigner bar and if something goes missing, I don't usually look at the Korean. Everyone's like, it must have been a foreigner or a drunk foreigner that took it from you because he or she was drunk or takes your jacket. But most of the times, yeah, I left my stuff for 4 hours. I went to go out, eat lunch, go to my apartment, come back. Not one thing was moved. And yes, I was taking a big risk. And they was like, King, you're stupid for doing that. You should have not done that. But yeah, not one person took a thing from me. I was kind of like floored, like, wow. Yeah. So yeah, it's big time. So yeah, yep. Those cooks are all Korean. Yeah, BCD, they usually just do have Koreans. But yeah. But yep, and this is what Kinga can attest to this. I miss being able to go to the bathroom in a coffee shop without worrying about my stuff. Korea spoiled me. Yeah. But yeah, sometimes they make all those little jokes like, what? But the funny thing is, like, when I go to the Philippines, right, there's a huge sign in Korean restaurants in the Philippines, all over the restaurant. Please do not leave your things unattended. And then there's a picture of like a picture thief. Don't leave your stuff unattended. Yeah. Yeah, no one even messed with it. It is so funny. But that is like the joke. Yeah. Yeah, I hate these kind of generalizations, but outside US and many people, places just joke about not meaning bad, but probably due to lack of exposure. Yeah. So, yeah, that's the thing, about, going to other countries, going about, you just learn about these other things like, wow, didn't know that. So, yeah. But, yeah, but people do make those jokes like if something gets stolen in Korea, yeah, the dumb general assumption is, yeah, a fellow expat did that to you, or a foreigner took that from you. I'm like, well, don't know. But yeah, most of the times, or one time my friend left his iPad. He's like, where's my iPad? Where is it? Where is it? And he goes, no. And this is his first time coming to Korea. Goes, did some Korean take it? Did somebody else? I said, no, just go back and check. And then he goes, wow, no one takes anything. So yeah. So Yeah. And I once left my green tea latte at Starbucks in Gangnam so I could get a quick KFC sandwich and nobody touched it or threw it away. Yeah. They just left it alone. Yep. So they just left it alone. That's interesting. Yeah. You have to get some form or generalization because of the perception happens in many countries. Yeah. So that was the one thing. I mean, that even was like a shock to me. Like, for example, I went to the bank with my friend. He had his backpack, he had tons of cash in his bag. He just threw his backpack on the seat where no one was near it. And then I went right up to it, like guarding it with my life. And then he comes up, he goes, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Hey, you got tons of freaking Korean won in here. I don't want anyone to jack this." He goes, "Don't worry. Oh no, where I come from, I have to watch this money, man. Someone gonna jack this, man." He goes, "Don't worry about it." I'm like, "Really?" But I didn't understand what he was getting at till, I was like, I start going to coffee shops and going, "Why is everyone leaving their stuff around? Why is everyone, wow." And like when I went to my first coffee shop here in Korea, everybody left all their stuff on the table. They go out and then, some of them go outside to go smoke, or plus there's some of these places have smoking rooms. So they just go smoke, don't have a care in the world. Some go to the bathroom to go do number 1 and 2. They're gone for 45 minutes. They come back. Not one item is moved or touched. Yeah. So that was kind of a shock to me. But yeah, that's one of the things I love about Korea. The safety is nice. A sense of safety is nice. So yeah. Now, because a lot of us that are Americans, do I still have my head on a swivel when I'm walking at night? Yeah, I do. I still do, no matter what. If there's somebody walking behind me, I'm kind of still like, "Okay, what are you doing, homie?" Okay, it's just by instinct. Of course, the thing you do have to worry about, like when you go to big cities like Seoul and maybe Busan, you might have an occasional pickpocketer. That's what you're gonna have. So that's what everyone's thing is. You will have like little pickpockets, in those countries. So yeah, let's see. Why is there no theft? I say one of the biggest reasons, Bama, is CCTV is all over the freaking place. It is all over the place. So everywhere I look, except the bathroom, but everywhere I look, there's a CCTV. I look to the left, there's a camera. Right? There's a camera. So yeah, there's cameras everywhere. It, even on the streets, there's like cameras everywhere. So they use that as evidence. So even in the car, you have your cameras, evidence. So that's why I think in Korea they're just deterred from doing it. But naturally, it's like really a cultural thing. Like they just leave it alone. Everyone lives safe. Yeah, it's not like the old days after the war where people had to steal to eat. But yeah, most of them just leave stuff alone. And one time I didn't even realize this. I, you know, had like over $1,000 in my bag. I forgot that it was there, but I still, yeah, just forgot about it. But luckily, Korea, no one saw it. Most of the times, I'd be like, I need to go lock this money up real quick or pay this money. So, and I couldn't get to it. So, yeah. And there's surprisingly little theft in Thailand, too. Yeah. So, yeah, just don't stay in the guest houses sometimes. That's like the theft part that some of my friends dealt with. I'm like, yeah, you get what you pay for. That's why I say get a little lock tote bag and lock it up. But yeah, I haven't experienced much of that in Thailand as much either. Yeah. And still 2020, many people leave helmets, keys, and scooters, all sorts. Yeah. So yeah, theft is very offensive to Korean customs. Yeah, and CCTV is all over. Plus, it brings shame on the family because face is everything. Confucianism, face is everything. You don't want to be a disgrace. And let's see. Okay, without all the surveillance, yeah. So, yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, being aware is probably a good thing. Yeah, that's the thing. Now, speaking of this, as kids in the West, when we were walking, right? Especially in America, we're taught to look left, look right, and then in the UK, it's the other way around. Well, you know, the so that's our habit. But in Korea, some people just run without looking left or right. And there was an incident, and I mentioned this in the past. I saw this video. I wish I had this video to show, but I just can't find it right now. These two girls just run across the street, car, boom. One died instantly. The other was in critical condition and died later. All because they did not do this. If they would have just done this and make sure it's clear and then go, they would have not died. So I didn't even know that till this one guy, that I follow, Mikole, who is a YouTuber from the South, he mentioned it. Yeah. And Korean cops are badass. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, the thing with Korean cops is they don't hassle you. Most of the times you don't see them. Sometimes I only see like a cop once every week, Thomas. Where in LA, where I lived, I saw LAPD every like 10 times a day when I'm driving or going around. I see LAPD presence all over the place, which could be a good thing and a bad thing. Mostly a good thing if you're not doing anything bad. So at least their presence there. But in Korea, I rarely see LAPD. The most cops I saw in Korea is when I was by the Seoul embassy, the U.S. embassy. There's like a bunch of them lined up in front of the U.S. embassy in Seoul. That's the extent of the amount of cops in Korea that I've seen. And I pass by police stations, but I don't see a lot of cops. They occasionally drive around, but I don't see a lot of them here. So, because, with the CCTV, they don't need to, make their presence as much as, back in home, So, yeah. And Philippines, on the other hand, well, full of strangers who can be unsuspecting thieves. Yeah. So you have that thing. Yeah. If Gates drops a C note, Mass say he should not stop to pick that. He earns that much. Koreans are rich like that. Yeah. Yeah, there's times he dropped the money. I'm like, grab it. Korean cops are very lenient, forgiving at first, but they don't play around. Yeah. They do their best to de-escalate. Yeah. Most cops I've seen here, they really try to de-escalate the situation. Because I've seen videos where two guys are fighting, and then one's gone. They got the other guy away. Then the other guy has a knife, and they're just waiting, but surrounding him so he doesn't hurt others. And then eventually they get the takedown calmly, So, yeah. So, yep. Okay, close eyes, place, leaf flow, normal walk to work. Yeah. Actually, you probably could. Koreans are very aware on their material ownership. If a phone or gadget gets lost, unluckily, they'll try. Yeah. So, yeah, they will. Ever get hassled by the LAPD? When I was a young kid, I was. Because I had a shaved head, I'm wearing a hoodie, and there's times I've been stopped by LAPD as a young high school kid. Not much in my adult years. They said, well, you look like us, because in my area in the San Fernando Valley, we had a lot of Asian gangs around at the time, so they thought I was one of them. But they actually let me go, so yeah. Yep, they will cry foul. Yep. So more likely. Korean Cups are all ex-military hand-to-hand combat experts. Yep, and most of them know how to use a gun. Since now the inscription is 18 months, I just got that verified from my dad. And FYI, because remember they used to only get 200,000 won a month for their service, but now my dad just passed the information, and my dad asked one of the military guys, "What's your monthly pay?" And he's getting 400,000 a month. He was trying to push for the 700,000 with the president, but it's been doubled. So they're getting double the help. Of course, U.S. military is a lot more, but of course it's voluntary and you do 4 years. But in Korea, yeah, inscription is 18 months, and that's the Army. I think what I've forgot to mention is depending on what branch you go into, the Navy, the Air Force, some of those inscriptions are a little bit longer. But in the Army is 18 months. The Marines, Navy, it varies. So, and then one of my pastor's son, he did 2.5 years. He was dreading it. So, yeah, I felt sorry for him. He did 2.5 years of inscription. So, yeah. So, Daniel. Yeah, I got hassled by a manager once when I stayed in a Goshiwon for hoarding lots of kimchi as midnight snacks. Oops. Daniel, what are you doing? You're going to be a kimchi dealer too? We got to watch Daniel now. So, yeah. But the Goshiwon. So, yeah. So, yeah, and yesterday I had another sub, and he's a YouTuber too. He was thinking about making a run to Korea, but yeah, I was telling him about the risk, 90 days. So we have to see. So he was looking at maybe Guam. So we'll see how this goes. Yeah, Koreans here are good. I have a favorite Korean barbecue restaurant, Santa Clara. It is family run and serves great quality meat. I am not Korean, but the owner, Ajuma, always welcomes me like I am family. Yeah. So if you frequent a place a little bit more and Koreans know you, everything is really good, because, so now you're slowly, breaking in to the group, but yeah, but of course it's tough, what some of the things. Yeah. Now, 2.5 year, does everyone have to do it? It has to build in a lot of pride and confidence in that population. Yeah. Well, it's not 2.5 years anymore because I think he went through Air Force. That's why. But for Army, just 18 months. Every Korean male has to do it. Yeah. So luckily, I got lucky because I'm over the age. Well, now, first, if you're over the age of 35, you don't have to do it, because for me to grab my F4 Korean Heritage visa, they were threatening me and say, you need to go to military. I'm like, I'm over the age already, and I'm an American citizen. But to give you this F4 visa, you need to do. I go. What do I have to do? But military is not an option here, because then I just rather go to do the U.S. military. And they go, well, your mom and dad have to get rid of Korean citizenship. Okay, not a problem. My mom doesn't intend to come back to Korea. My dad can get rid of it and then get it back later. So that's one of the things. Okay, Nipbom, you'll always be welcome as a repeat vendor of eating Korean food. That's right. Yes, definitely. Yeah, Daniel, I would do that for the kimchi as well. Yeah. And Goshiwon, is that the same as homestay? Yeah, that is well, it's mostly a guest house, a guest house. So, and sometimes homestays are a little different, the ones I've seen in the Philippines and like Dumaguete and Cebu. But yeah, these are mostly these one little room rooms, the Goshi ones. Homestay is more like, in a home. Like there's some in Cebu that I saw, but I was like, nah, I want my own place. But yeah. Yeah, lucky that you got mates with the president. Yeah, that's the one thing. Yeah, I was lucky to, my dad demonstrated with him back in the days during the demo days. So I might even have to make a video or how much I almost never became an American. So yeah. So there we go. More like I bet. Yep. Smiles. Yeah. Went off to the United States like a privileged banana. Yep. So, yep. Luckily, a lot of it is my mom immigrated, so I was born over there in good old Chicago. Yeah. So, yep. Let's see. Homestay or guest house? Yeah. So we like guest. Well, Goshen's more of a guest house. Yeah. And then homestay here, like in Korea, it's more of a pension. So we call it a pension, like on a getaway. So yeah. Ha ha. Yep. So come rolling back with you, fancy degrees and accents. Yeah. Yep, my accent changed when I'm in different countries. Yeah. Yeah. Could you imagine what happened in the US if the government made service mandatory? Oh my goodness. Yeah, of course we had the Selective Service Act, once you're 18, going back to Vietnam. And then even during the Gulf War, I even had to like sign up for selective service because, during the Persian War in the 90s. So luckily I was still in high school, but yeah. Yeah. Yep. My love for Korean food will keep my belly safe. Yes, indeed, Daniel. It will. Yep. Oh, you're born in the States in life, presume. Yeah, I was born in the States. But it was crazy how my mom, went to the US first, and then my dad came after. He had to escape somewhat. Yeah, Daniel, you're an American, Filipino, Chinese, and a Korean girl for truly international. Yep. So Daniel's a Filipino Chinese American. Yep, with a Korean girlfriend in this city of Daejeon. So, and yeah, nope, I have not met her, but once Daniel gets here, he can introduce me to her. So I want Daniel here first. So yeah. So we'll all have fun, hopefully, once all of this gets lifted and we can go. So, yep. And FYI, I am moving into my new place. I am doing a 1-year lease, or in case if I have to leave early out of it, I could probably get someone to take over the lease. So that's one of the things, as long as the owner wants, has a tenant and rents coming in. So what I've got is I got luckily a corner place, so I can do live streams, so I won't disturb the tenants next door. So I'm kind of looking forward to that. So yeah, so I'm gonna be checking that out and see what happens. So yeah, let's see. I will go get meat for barbecue tomorrow. So I see Nippon, you're getting hungry. Yeah. And by the way, my new place is next door to the $4 all-you-can-eat student cafeteria. So I'm excited about that. Okay, so Thomas, you got drafted in the 70s. Okay. So, yeah. So 3 more years till, the U.S. left Vietnam. So 73 is when we all left. The U.S. left. I didn't leave. I wasn't born yet. Nippon, not your typical American Filipino Chinese kind of guy. I'm open-minded for everything. I like to seek enlightenment and wisdom by learning many cultures from different countries. Yep. That's the key with, traveling. You learn new things. That's one thing. 1870 or 1970. So, yeah, Thomas, he wants to know if you got drafted during the reconstruction of the Civil War. So, yeah, that's right in your neck of works, Bama. Reconstruction time. Yep, really. Yep. Did you have to go abroad? So yeah, usually nap. But yeah, pretty much the thing is I never have traveled since 5 years ago. So that's the thing. Let's see here. Did I miss anybody here? Okay, can't wait to see your new digs. Yep, I'll probably do a video of it because it's wise to do a video when you first move in so you can make sure, if the landlord comes back on me like, hey, wait, this was already here. This already happened before I moved in. So, yeah. Okay, what other cultures are you interested in? Yeah, well, Daniel's been to 60 countries in 10 years. So, yeah. Next to the favorite food, my God, you who gain weight. Yeah. So, yeah, usually, even if it's all you can eat, I just eat one plate. That's it because I can't eat too much. And then now I'll have a walking trail or bike trail there. So I'm going to just go work out on there. So, yeah, I look forward to that one. During the reconstruction of the Civil War. Yeah. Yeah. I actually loved my history teacher. Yeah, he's the one that got me interested in history. So I was able to enjoy that. I met Thomas. I was asking if he had to go abroad when he was enlisted. Yeah. I don't know if he went to Vietnam. Wait, he told me he went to Korea at that time, actually, Aztec. So yeah. Yeah, that's where he was. Nippon stayed at Bhutan for 2 months since 12. Culture is very quiet and empowering. Yes. Yeah, it's always nice to hear Daniel's stories of travel. Yep. Hey, I went over the hill with Teddy. So Thomas hung out with the Rough Riders with Teddy, our 26th president and our youngest president to take office but not get elected to office, to take office. So he was only he was still young as our 26th president. He was, I think, only 42. So, yep, walk softly and carry a big stick. So, yeah. Okay, interesting. Yeah, Nippon, you need to talk to your twin brother there. So, yeah. Yep, Buddhism is my favorite, and I practice that sometimes doing business with people. Helps build rapport and relaxed form of relationships. Yes. So, yeah, you always want to just bring value. Yeah, just bring value with each other, you know? Yep, and definitely hit each other up. So you got two brothers there, two twin brothers, hopefully, right there coming around. So, yeah, this is kind of exciting. Yeah. Or in the Filipino YouTube culture, make friends. Make friends. So that's why, like, all of them, if any of you been to like the Filipino community, they all have blue moderator jackets where they're all sharing their links, their YouTube channel. So almost everyone on all those Filipino blogger channels, everyone's a YouTuber. So everyone's all like giving each other jackets. So yeah. Yep. So Bhutan #1 in the world in happiness index as opposed to the GDP. Yeah. Yep. So I didn't have to go to Nam. So you went to, yeah. Because I remember you telling me either you were in Korea. Okay. So yeah. So Tom, what did you have to do? Yeah. What did you have to do to not go to Nam? San Juan Hill, Teddy Roosevelt, 1898, Spanish-American War. Yep. With those Rough Riders. And, of course, Thomas, did you have the Buffalo Soldiers nearby too? as, you know, those that know the Bob Marley song. And I actually watched the movie on TNT with Danny Glover where he was running the Buffalo Soldiers unit. Okay, Anthony Bourdain did an episode of the show on Bhutan. It was great. Yeah. Man, it was sad what happened to Anthony. Yeah, I like Anthony Bourdain. And Bhutan is most minimalistic country. Less materials, more happiness. In Korea, more materials, less happy. Yeah. Yeah. And speaking of like, what I do sometimes, Daniel, like when I was living at my place, I would never have to really buy furniture because I would just kind of look outside and see who dumps furniture outside, and I'll just take it in with me and use their furniture. Why go spend, $500 on a cabinet? And they have the sticker on it. So by the time if I move out, I can just put it out there and they'll still take it because the sticker is already paid for. Because actually you have to buy a sticker if you have big furniture that you're getting rid of. So that's the one thing. Yeah, I would look for those things. Yeah, I have been to the second largest Buddhist monastery in the world. I'm sure you know which one. So Daniel knows. The third day announced that the Philippine government is broke and has no more money for food. Uh-oh. That's not a good sign. So it's going to be tough, especially for those Filipinos that live in the provinces. Geez. How are they going to get any access to anything? Next step, welcome to IMF. Yeah. I was in supply and they didn't need our unit anymore. Okay, so that was good, Thomas. Yeah. Because by that time, from 1970, 73, we were starting to pull out of the Vietnam War. So, and then 73, we were like pretty much out of there. And then the South Vietnamese had to stay and do their best to defend it. So, yeah. I love that. By the way, I love that Ken Burns Vietnam War documentary. So does a good job of breaking down each year what was going on. So, yeah. But yeah, Vietnam. But of course, today that's a nice place now. For what's happened, and now we're welcome back. I couldn't load my musket fast enough. Yeah, like that movie Glory, where Matthew Broderick goes, faster, you should get 3 shots in 1 minute. So, yeah. So, yeah, definitely nice move. So, yeah. All right, so if anyone have any last minute comments or questions, because it is really hot here and humid, so I need to get going soon. Let's see here. And Nitbom, yes, hit them up on Kakao Talk. So Nitbom, since you are starting to go hang around Korean families for food, you download Kakao Talk and start chatting, doing the Kakao Talk. Yep. Yeah, the Ken Burns special ribbon 10-part special. Yeah, I really enjoyed watching that. And almost anything Ken Burns does, I really like what he does. Yeah, that was a nice job. I love Buddhism. I've been to many monasteries per peace and bliss. Yeah, so just calm. Korean barbecue is also safe and delicious. Yes. Yep, and Delta Chris, Ken Burns Vietnam series was fantastic. Yeah, and yeah, a lot of this, I credit this to my high school history teacher because, he grew up in that era. He demonstrated in that era. He told me stories about, the stuff he did. So that got me really interested in Vietnam. Plus, yeah, it was kind of an experience. My dad, he took me to see the movie Platoon. That was quite a experience. And of course, I was a little kid and I was laughing at all the cuss words. And then he punches me, goes, that's not that funny. Watch it for what it is. So, yeah. So, yep. And just thought I'd drop it by here, but I'm spending time with my family. So, sorry for cutting time short. No problem, Daniel. I'm going to be cutting it short too here. So, yeah. Cheers for the stream taking. Always enjoy your company when I catch you. Yep, Aztec, thank you. And yep, and then hopefully on my days off, I'll get to go hang out with the cool kids table over there. So yeah. So I need to install Kakao Talk again. I'll text you. Yep, do that with Daniel. So, okay, Tawang Monastery. Yep. And take care, guys. Hope to talk about something else on the next live stream. Yep. And Daniel, I'm going to talk to you about, you know, about that other guest. So we'll try to get a schedule when I get my place set out. So, yeah. All right, guys. I had fun today. Take care and be safe. Yeah. See you later. Okay. And FYI, I'll try to have the premiere video for tomorrow if I get the editing done. Wednesday is up in the air. If I have too much moving to done, I might not do a live stream Wednesday. So I'll let you know. And Friday, I will have a live stream and I will have a guest here in Korea who is working at a university. So, so you could ask him questions on how he gets around Korea. So it's a very good friend of mine. So, yep. Okay. Daniel says, Annyeong. Okay. Then Mito Daniel. Okay. Aztec. Yep. Says, see you later. And thank you, Knit Bomb. Yep. And Aztec. I end it right here. Okay, everyone, take care, and I'll see you again and stay safe. All right.